This is Michael Behrens on February 15th, 2021. Walking down the middle of Broadmead Avenue in Northwest Austin. There's a sidewalk on this side of the street somewhere, but the cars have packed down, the few cars out and about have packed down the snow on the road to make it a lot more easy to walk on. And this is just surreal for me, native Central Texan, South Texan like me. Never had experience with this stuff. Oh, I see a bird, sounds like a yellow-rumped warbler, just went down, foraging low on the ground. I'll see how much I can find out here for the great backyard bird count on just an unprecedented snowy day in Northwest Austin. Birding on Broadmead has never been like this. Here's a Downy Woodpecker fluffed up, foraging on this cold, snowy day. There are a few birds still out and about on this beautiful but cold morning. It's so quiet out here this morning. There's so few people. There's usually a lot more traffic. You can always hear a car somewhere. The background traffic noise from nearby highways is gone. The sun on the ice on these trees is just breathtaking, beautiful. And you can hear that when the wind blows, it's a different sound, more of a crackly sound than I'm used to. What an experience. Normal for a lot of people, I'm sure, of course, in northern states, but not for Austin, Texas. Looks like a neighbor has very considerately cleared off some of their driveway and put some seed out. We have here mostly American goldfinches and one yellow-rumped warbler on the left. There are so many American goldfinches out and about today. I finally made it to Lake Creek Trail in Town and Country playing fields. And this is normally a big grassy field. There's a red-bellied woodpecker working its way up a cedar elm trunk. I also hear a Carolina wren. Watch out where the huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow. Well, this is just Lake Creek Trail like I've never seen it. Patch of woods on the west side. Oh, wow. Amazing. Here's a wildlife trail in the snow. I've never gotten to walk around in the woods in the snow and see the kind of tracks that are left. And it looks like it's a galloping gait. It starts here coming down this hill. And here's another, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look at the gap here until there's another group of tracks. And then it curves off to join the main trail. And by the size of that, my guess is that it's a gray fox. It looks a little bit too small. That gait looks a little bit too short to be from a coyote. Both are here. Gosh, just look at the dust. You can still see like the snow dust coming up out of the tracks. That's just amazing. What must it be like to live somewhere where this happens all the time and you can see tracks like these? Wow. Another trail. I followed off the main trail back to this drainage path, and there's like a little trotting trail all the way down. Wow. All the way down. Look at the tracks light up. Through a shadow here, coming out. And look at those drags, those toe drags, and all the dust that came up. I have no idea how old these must be. Can't be that old. Like it can't have happened last night, maybe. Here crosses the trail. Keeps on going. Wow. Into the woods. Here's an American pipit on a little narrow, uncovered edge of the creek. Making its way. Trying to find some habitat, and here's a eastern phoebe above him. Eastern phoebes, such hardy flycatchers. And a killdeer flew in. So weird seeing all these familiar birds in the snow. You can see the two stripes on his breast. Killdeer or plovers, our biggest plover. And they're here year-round. One of the few birds I know of that can use a parking lot as habitat. And that water's probably warmer than the air. Uncharacteristically, this killdeer is being uncharacteristically quiet. Pipit again. Found a little more exposed shoreline to forage in. Oh, look at that! Look at those frozen seed heads. Oh, these are cattails. Wow. Frozen cattails. There's the pipit behind them, coming back out in the view. And good luck, American pipit. I made it to the first low water crossing at the creek in Town and Country Playing Fields. I just wanted to capture what it's like being on the creek in the snow. hope it's picking up the ice in the grass and the Roosevelt leaf that's bent over. It's glittering. Now, a couple little birds on the shore there. Maybe I'll try to see what those are. Oh, what an amazing day. Here's a Lincoln sparrow that normally lives in these reeds. Lincoln sparrows and song sparrows. Looks like it's coming out to the edge here, maybe to soak up some sun. See those fine streaks and a little bit of a buffy color that goes across its breast. Nice look at one of our common winter sparrows. Most of our wild sparrows are just here in the winter. They're migratory. They were trying to escape weather like this. I made it back home. Power still seems to be on. For me, fortunately, unlike a lot of my neighbors who I talked to. You can see how it's been cold enough all day that the snow has barely changed. There's a little bit of evidence of melting in the sunny patch on my back patio here. Maybe a few drops along the edge of the roof. One kind of neat thing I noticed, looks like this leaf blew in and you can see its trail in the snow. It's a pretty amazing day for me. I'm not used to this kind of snow accumulation, and it was great to get out and experience it, see all the reflections in the ice, and feel it under my feet crunching the way only snow does. And it's so, just see the real snow, powdery, dry snow, and get to see a few birds and a few wildlife tracks through it. Great thing to get to experience here and to share. This is Michael Behrens in Austin, Texas, February 19th, Friday, 2021. And looks like we've made it through the ice storm. Today it's supposed to get into the mid-30s. One more freeze tonight and then everything will melt, hopefully Saturday. We're looking at the last, you see all the dripping going on, and look at those icicles. Those are probably gonna fall pretty soon. You can see a lot of melting has taken place, and just what a mess. At least the sun is out, power's back on. Was out of power for about 2.5 days. House got down to about 45 degrees. Had to get a lot of old firewood dig it out of the snow. And now we have low water pressure on a boil water notice. And I'm gonna be out here collecting some of this snow and ice before it all melts for toilet flush and water. But the sun is out. The roads will be clear, safe soon. I got a dozen fresh eggs from my next door neighbor's chickens. And looks like we'll make it through this. This is Michael Behrens, February 20th, 2021. The first day of way above freezing temperatures after the winter storm. And here's a hermit thrush in my backyard enjoying the exposed grass. All this grass has been covered by snow and ice for a few days, and the birds robins and other ground foraging birds like this thrush couldn't access the ground where they usually forage and find stuff. And you can hear around me all the melting, all the dripping. There's still plenty of ice on my roof that's dripping off. I've captured some of it. We're having major water supply issues in Austin and all around the state. And so capturing some of this melting water for gray water use. That thrush is in the, see now the thrush when it's out in the sun, the rump and the tail are like a reddish brown, and the rest of the body is a more dull gray brown. And that's how you distinguish this thrush from other very similar thrush species, that reddish brown rump and tail. And this is the only resident thrush species in Texas. To my knowledge, it's a winter species, a winter resident species here. And all the other thrush species that we see in Texas are during migration, spring and fall migration, passing through further north and south. Glad to see that this one made it through the storm, and hope it's able to find things in my yard to eat.